Yo, we are in. It's the Colum Tyrrell Podcast, episode 100. Most podcasts out there for the big century, the centurion, half of 200, 100, half of the bicentennial. Most of the people would they would reach out to their brethren. They would go, "Hey, Shane Gillis, rescue me, Shane. Come be a special guest on my 100 episode. Big J Oakerson, take off the gloves. Come on down and do episode 100. Brendan Shaw, Brian Callan, put the women down. Put the little women down and come do the show." But not me, not El Collie Wobbles. Collie T decided to, what better way to celebrate the show, to Colum Tyrrell. But by the way, no one ever thought we'd make it this far, let's be honest. Everyone wrote us off. They said, "You're a fucking dreamer. You'll never have a podcast that barely grows over the course of 100 episodes." And I said to Fooey, to you, "I'll do it. I'll prove you wrong." And here we are now. Persistent, if nothing else, here at Date Rape Studios, which is an official title of the studios that ever since Fonzie helped me file the LLC. He took it upon himself to. I said I wanted Freedom Fighters Studios. So shout out to all my freedom fighters out there, and it was taken. So Fonzie just ad-libbed Date Rape Studios, which I think, whatever, it was available. It was actually Date Rape Studios 2, to be honest. So, and that's the official network that we're with right now. So we're 100 episodes in, and we decided no guest, no need for. We're just gonna have me, David Caggiano's on the ones and twos. He's over there. Do not talk. But you're gonna accept that he's in there. Follow David Caggiano on social media. So we're having good old day. No drinking. My hair is very Hitler-esque. I don't know why. What that is about, but I am aging terribly. I don't know. Here's a trick if you're a guy and if you're a woman. I don't know what you're doing here. Yo, toots. Okay, put on some makeup, will you? And clean the kitchen. Will you? We'd stop listening to podcasts. What do you think you're going to learn something here? You won't understand what we're talking about. We're talking about like economics, quantitative easing. Fucking, we're talking about engines. We're talking about engines and cars and real manly shit like that. So come on, babe. Fucking put on the apron and fucking cook up a stew, will you? While the boys are gonna fucking have a little conversation together. But I am age. If you're a fella, this is what. If you go to your temples, the solar panels where you have your highest temple, rub as far as you can close to your hair, right? Rub the bit that's closest to your hair, and it feels weird, right? Doesn't it? You know why it feels weird? It's because you've never experienced touch on that part of your body, because there's always been hair. So if you touch there, that's the first time you've ever experienced it. Dave's disagreeing? I don't like that. You don't like it? Oh, I thought you're disagreeing. But it feels weird, right? Because you know what? You've never felt the baldness before. I remember I've been doing this for about 2 inches now. I've been like 2 inches slowly, all new terrain, all new. And now it's like I can't even get a good haircut, but also I can't grow facial hair. I'm just a fucking stumpy potato guy. Unfortunately, that's the problem. I always had some wild dreams that someday I might just somehow swan it up. I could still do it too. I think if I have a good year next year, 2024, all I need, I'm busy. I'm on the road next year. All tickets at columtyrrell.com as soon as they are available. The links will be up there. I've got a bunch of dates for the rest of the year. Come see me, because Collie's got a new 45 and some of it is fucking top dog shit. A lot of it's pretty dog shit. But you know what? We got to trial and error. You got to figure things out, But what I'm thinking is, it's not that hard to be a good looking guy, right? what you do is you right, hit the gym, a little bit of discipline, hit the gym, get shredded. Right? All you got to do is this. You hit the gym, get shredded, 2 full arm sleeve tattoos, get on testosterone. That'll give you a nice big fucking head of a beard. And then like you either get the hair plugs like David, like they all have it. David Beckham, I'm watching all these guys. They all have the same hair plugs. David Beckham has it. Jim Jeffries has it. And Gordon Ramsay have it. There's this like old man quiff where it's like they have a quiff like they're in one direction, but it doesn't make sense. You shouldn't have your hair like fluffed up like that if you're in your 50s. The only reason anyone has their hair fluffed up like that is because it's fake and they're trying to cover up. Just so you know, they all have had their hair done. Fucking Ramsay's been through the works. Ramsay at this point, Gordon Ramsay looks like fucking Mickey Rourke. Like he's like Ramsay's fucked. Ramsay used to have these big wrinkles on his chin that he got puttied in back in the 90s. I've been watching Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay, by the way, I think he's Scottish, by the way, so that's why we can support his endeavors. He is Scottish. He's not English, just so you know. So just in case for a second you thought I was going to compliment an Englishman, not today, sunshine. Ramsay, one of the best men in the world, one of the most successful best men in the world, and I think there's not many people you could say are better than Gordon Ramsay. He's just a dominating alpha male. No matter what he touches, he's a winner. Because he's not like Guy Fieri or whatever. Guy Fieri. Diners, drive-ins, and dives. Oh my God, it's a Nashville hot chicken sandwich. He's like wearing his fucking stupid shit. Like, sure, whatever. At least he's entertaining, right? But Gordon Ramsay is a 3 Michelin star chef. So like you cannot get higher. You can in there's some other extra stars on top of it. I don't really understand. I'm assuming he has them too, but I don't know. But in terms of, he has 3 Michelin stars, restaurant Gordon Ramsay, most expensive restaurant in England. And he's maintained that forever. So just in terms of being a chef, he genuinely is one of the greatest chefs. He's second youngest British chef to ever achieve 3 stars. And so he dominated that. Then he went on to dominate TV. And it was just a fluke that there was a thing called Undercover Boss, where, not Undercover Boss, but it was like some sort of like undercover journalism bullshit. And they hired, in England, they hired some fucking retard reporter to come in and work on like probably the highest pressure job in the world it's a 2-star Michelin restaurant that are going for their 3rd star. And then you just have a guy who lies about his resume, and they were said there was like some sort of reporting on like the quality of kitchens. And the videos are out there, and Gordon Ramsay's just screaming at him. When you see Hell's Kitchen and you think Gordon Ramsay's like playing it up, where he's just like, this fucking squid's so raw, he's singing a song with fucking SpongeBob or whatever. Do you ever see, like, he does have good expressions. Like, he grabs the 2 loaves of bread. Do you ever see he grabs 2 slices of bread and he puts it on the guy's ears and he goes, I'm an idiot sandwich. How good is that? Good, but he knows what he's doing. But so just in case you think he's playing it up to the cameras, he genuinely is that guy. It's like the guy has a hidden camera in his shirt, and it's just Gordon screaming at him, going, "You're a plonker! You're a fucking idiot!" Even on the stuff that Gordon Ramsay has released, it's him tormenting people. There's a documentary on him when he was opening up his new restaurant, and there's the opening night, and there's a guy, one of the waiters, goes into the kitchen and drinks some water, but somehow it is visible from one of the tables. You can see through the window into the kitchen. You know, like one of those like flappy fucking things. And and Gordon Ramsay's like, what are you fucking doing? He said, you're in fucking view of the fucking customers. And like, you can see that for the whole episode, it's like bugging him and he's cooking and he keeps going back to him and screaming at him. And then eventually he goes, go, get the fuck home. Get the fuck home. Fuck you slugging, you fucking idiot. Fucking drinking water like a pig. He fires. And even the waiter goes, understandable, sir. Understandable. Because those waiters in those restaurants are like fucking robots. They're just there to be whipped. And there's like a whole client. I don't understand. I don't know what that level of bad service means, you know. I mean, when I worked in I had no idea. When I moved to America, I had a good job as a waiter. And I used to fuck up all the time. Like I've barely eaten at restaurants. Then you go to New York and I'm like, yeah, 12 years experience, babe. Yeah, no problem. I was like people would order like salads and, you know, like, I was like, okay, we'll have an arugula salad, Caesar salad, blah, blah, blah. And I'll do the steak and I'll do the fish and I'll just put them all through as like one big order. And then they're like, we wanted that as apps. And then the mains is like, don't even know what that means, babe. Don't even know what that fucking means. And then they were like, can I get like a Tito's and Tito's soda? And I'd like, never heard of vodka. Because there's no such thing. In Ireland, it's just you order vodka or whiskey. You go, give me, or like maybe Jack Daniels, or like, but other than that, it's like, just give me a vodka Coke. There was never like a brand. Never experienced that. And I remember once some fucking guy shouted at me. Some guy shouted at me because I opened up a bottle of wine and I poured some fucking wine for the table and then I fucking put the cork back in or I'd have screwed the top back on, whatever fucking red wine it was. And he goes, fucking let it breathe. I was like, I don't know what that means. I have no idea what any of that shit means, dude. I had no idea. I had fucking no idea. By the way, it was, first of all, it's like fucking a 2-for-1 on your bottle of wine in a New Zealand restaurant in the fucking in downtown New York. It's like, go somewhere nice then. Sorry, dude. Sorry. You're about to get some fucking overcooked fucking lamb burgers. Fuck off. What do you expect? The worst was when people try to talk to you. It's the busiest night of your life. It's like the restaurant slammed and then some idiot hears your accent. You're from Ireland? I'm like, oh, what? Like, what? Oh, Tom, you went to Ireland, didn't you? And then he's like, yeah. What year was that? 2008. No, it was 2007. I'm there going, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Infuriating. There should be like a sort of a rating system for customers. Because most people out there are fucking dumb as fuck. There's nothing worse than someone goes, can we order now? And you go, are you guys ready? And they go, yeah. And then they go, all right, what do you want? Start with him. And you're like going, I want to fucking kill you. I want to fucking kill you. The amount of times I remember I threw a fucking Bloody Mary at someone. Who did I throw a Bloody Mary? I was working with some chick in the financial district and we were in the weeds like that. And there was like a whole thing. And all these customers were annoying me and all these cunts came in. And then they were like, you know, it's like 4 people and they go like, can I take the order? Just 4 chicks trying to enjoy their brunch. And they're just annoying as fuck. It's like, we're ready now type of thing. And then you go, all right, what is, like, you're carrying plates back. And then it was just like, fucking, we'll do this burger. And they all had like all their different shit. And I was like, all right, got that. And the next one was like another burger. And they're like, are you actually going to be able to take all this type of thing? And I was like, yes. But I wasn't even trying to take your fucking order. I thought you wanted waters or some shit. And then I remember the girl that worked there, she was like doing something. She kept calling me over just to like fuck with me. And then there was like a fucking Bloody Mary or something in front of me. And I just went over to like the desk and just poured it on the ground and smashed it all of it. I was like, whoops. Which is the worst thing to clean. The bloody, she didn't clean, it was the fucking poor bus boy, but whatever. I was fuming. The amount of customers I told to fuck off and things like that over the years. Just a high stress environment. You're running around like a retard. But I will tell you this too. The tipping system in America is dumb. Doesn't work. I'd rather have 20 tables and all of them tip me 10% than, you know, have 7 tables that you do a good job and they all tip you 20. It's just the way it is. By the way, they don't tip you 10. A bad service, they go, give them 15. And you go, I don't count it. No one counts. No one sits there and analyzes, goes, all right, I got 19% off this person. Or I got 16% off this one. How do I improve my, because there's no feedback form. You just type it in your machine and on your way. It doesn't even matter. The tipping system is a fraudulent system and it's only fucking good for the people that run bars, and everyone that runs a bar in America is a fucking idiot. Make no mistake about it. Everyone that runs a bar, a pub in America is a moron. If you can't make money off an addictive substance, 90% of your sales are because they're alcoholics. Make no mistake about it. Casual drinkers account for very little in a bar. All the money comes from the guys who were molested and now they just need to drink their life away. That is what it is. And if you can't make money on that, you're not good. You don't pay your staff. It's an addictive substance. It's the easiest thing in the world. And they all walk around with like their Gordon Gekko, like fucking straws, make sure there's some fucking limes there, clean the floor. And you go, I'm not here to clean your floor. Hire someone to clean the floor. Make no mistake about it. If you're listening and you own a bar, there's a reason why everyone steals. The employees are allowed to steal from the bar. These are just the facts. And that's just the way it is. Pay them a wage or don't. But I'm definitely was heavy-handed. I was a heavy-handed. I would like a few of them to listen to this too. A lot of them are out of business right now too. Make no mistake about it. Tonight when you go for dinner, you would have been able to get extra sides, but I stole from you. It was the old two for you, one for me situation. These are just the rules. By the way, I just stole mine. I just stuffed my pockets full of cash and I'd walk home with it. No, what would happen is, by the way, New York is legendary for the most amount of thieving by employees against their, because the profit margins are so big, it's hard to even keep track of how many bottles of Budweiser. And then traditionally when it was cash, you just typed in the number. So you would just type in $5 sale, $5 sale, $5 sale, but they don't know what that is. So your inventory is all over. It's a little bit different now with the EPOS systems, but you could just steal. Traditionally, and there was a I don't know which bar this was in, but it was in Manhattan. There was a famous, real busy place, and apparently the bar scenes in New York used to be insane. It used to be like every bar was packed. It was huge, nightclubs thing, and that's when you had those. Remember all those weird twinks? Remember that guy who would dress up as like a unicorn? Him and all his weird like fucking they them friends, and remember he killed the friends. Macaulay Culkin played him in a movie. There was was it? Yeah, but there was a group of young socialites. They were kind of like pre-Paris Hilton. They would just fucking do crank and fucking stab each other to death. Something like that. You're thinking of monsters. Are you thinking about the little adopted kid that tried to kill his parents? No. Is that the movie you're thinking of? No. There is a movie where Macaulay Culkin plays like the evil son, and they adopt the guy, and then it turns out that the Macaulay Culkin was evil the whole time, and the adopted kid was actually the nice one. And in the end, the mother ends up she has to choose which one to save, and she saves Party Monster. Yeah, Party Monster's the one about these twinks, but then fucking that little goblin guy. Giuliani came in and shut down the laws. Whereas like there's like capacity laws now, so the whole fucking New York vibe changed. But it used to be cash, and there was an Irish pub, Fitzpatrick's or whatever, you know, one of these four floors of fun type of place, and they knew money was going missing, and they couldn't figure it out, and they sent in undercover customers to watch everything. So that's what they do. Is a lot of these places, if they think you're stealing, now they just have cameras above you and all this type of stuff. But they would send in undercover customers to be like, order a bunch of stuff all night, and they'd be watching and writing it down, keeping track. And the owners couldn't figure out how they were stealing, but they just had a suspicion. And then they wrote up a report on them, and they're like, look, every single thing was registered. We watched them all night. Couldn't catch them. Everything was registered. And then they're like, there's got to be something. Try again. And they went back in. They go, tell you, we had 4 guys watching every till, every register. There's no way they were stealing. And then there's like, all right. And then they're like, we only have 3 registers.
No.
So what they had done was they had another register that they just opened up, and then they just kept all that money.
That's sick.
Yeah, it is. Solid. That's an old scam that's happened a few times, but that was like damn. But here's what would happen is, because especially at a cash bar, you know, you're not getting tipped, because the thing is, it is a fucking, and sure, cry me a fucking river. Cry me a fucking... All these guys, I wouldn't even fucking for a second feel guilty about any of these cunts. They fire you in a fucking heartbeat. They berate you if you're not there available for them. Fuck them. And they're paying you nothing at the same time. You're like if you're a bartender, it's really your freelance. If you gotta, they're not employing you. A little bit different now. They pay you more and all this type of stuff. But traditionally, you're more like renting that location to bartend. It's almost like an expo or something like that, where you can set up a little stall and you just pay the guy. You're given the permission to sell your stuff on that fucking during the fair or whatever. That's the same with a bartender. You're getting paid from the customers. Has very little to do with them. They're just giving you the opportunity to do it in their location because they're just selling the beers. So when you show up and then they go, by the way, you need to mop the floors tonight. That's nothing to do with you. That's just them exploiting you as a worker. So fuck them. And then they fucking fuck them all. And they all think they're so fucking, they all think they're mafioso. Every single one that walks in goes, fuck it, Tony, yeah, hook them up. Their cousins come in, get them the works, get them the mozzarella sticks on the house. Come on, they're walking around. Hey, baby, how you doing? I own that place. Their name's George Foreman. Nice to meet you. Fucking pricks, dude. Every cocksucking fuck under the sun runs a bar and then just goes, send a couple of fucking shots down there for the sluts down the end of the bar. How you going, girls? Tony Flood, nice to meet you. Jesus Christ. So what would happen is if someone's paying you cash. So let's say you come in and you order fucking 5 bottles of Budweiser. It's on a fucking special for fucking $20. You hand me a 50. I turn around and I type in 2 bottles of Budweiser, $10. Then I hand you your change, which is the proper change. But then that $10, I put that in my tip jar, got myself a little tip. Then you would also tip me on top of the fucking drink. So then I'd put that in there. That's kind of just the way it is. And then, of course, bartenders will come in from across the street. You're not going to charge them anything. So then you just be like, a $200 tab, it's $20. And then they'll hand you $100 because they're fucking alcoholics. And then you would also go over to their bar later. You know, everyone's just drinking. It's just, bartending is just for alcoholics. It's like there's a short time of your life to be a bartender. It's like in your 20s or like late. You got to be the daytime. There's like a position of like, you can be young, hot, and full of cum. And that's like your time to be a bartender because you're out late, you're just doing shots all night. You haven't realized you're an alcoholic yet. You realize it's at the dead end. You're just going around catching HPV, spreading HPV, giving the Lord, doing the Lord's work, spreading the HPV. And then you realize, all right, then this is ropey. You look in the mirror one day and you haven't slept in 2 days. You're like a blood dripping out your nose. And you're like, I gotta get out of here. Or you can keep going until you're the old guys who have the day shifts. You ever go into like a fucking any pub in Midtown in New York and you walk in during the day, you'll see a guy, he's 55, he has the lunch shift. That's what it is. He gets in, he gets out. Those ones are fucking coveted. There's a few fucking bartending gigs in New York like that. You'd make 120, 150 a year. Easy, you know? Because they have it, it's a system. But they don't give them up. No one's letting go of that. Because you let go of that, you're never getting back in. And everyone owns their shift. There's a weird world of like, this is your shift, that's your shift. And then you're never allowed to touch it. That was another spot I used to work with where they go like, this is your shift. You have to work it. And I was like, fine. And then some other day, then they'd be like, oh, by the way, you're working Friday. And I go, well, that's not my shift. So what? It's fucking my shift when it fucking suits you. It's not my shift when it fucking comes to anything else. Fuck them all. Fuck them all. Burn them to the ground. Fuck them all. Having said that, I love bars. I love going to bars. I love frequenting bars. But that relationship between the owners or whatever. What was I even talking about? Gordon Ramsay? Gordon Ramsay has just brought back one of the greatest shows of all time, which was Kitchen Nightmares. So the original Kitchen Nightmares was like, Gordon would just go to a place, the business is failing. He would scream at some fucking stupid chef because he burnt the scallops or didn't cook. The scallops are raw! And but now they've brought it back and it's shit. It's the worst show ever because it's like had a 10-year hiatus. They know how to fucking squeeze it. Back in the day, they would go in and work on the kitchen and they would like spend like a week figuring out how to get this place right. They would like talk to the chefs, they would talk to the managers, they would tell them what's doing wrong, they would figure out. And Gordon Ramsay, it didn't even matter too. They weren't all just shitholes. They were places that weren't doing well and busy. So you might have a fine dining restaurant that just wasn't doing well, or you might have some fucking chicken shop. But it's been bastardized now. They brought it back. It's obviously a cash grab. It's not the same. Because they just do the hits. They walk in, immediately there's raw chicken on the floor. Because there's no way this is correct. Because they walk in, they go, Gordon Ramsay just walked in. It's like, yeah, you're mic'd up and there's 5 cameras in front of you. Right? And then they're like, I can't even believe it. And then Gordon's like, can I have a look in the kitchen? And they're like, sure. And then there's like a dead rat in a frying pan. there's just a bowl of raw chicken. This chicken's raw. It's fucking rotten. He's always just screaming at them going, this salmon's not cooked. Give me the head. I'll put it back in the fucking water. Which I liked. Shout out to my first ever fucking Tonight Show. I forgot I did a little Gordon Ramsay voice on the first Tonight Show. Legend. And but now you can tell they're just doing the hits, and then they're talking about renovating the place. And I'm pretty sure they record them all in like almost like one day. Because you can tell, this is something I learned from watching these reality shows where you go, oh, these are recorded on the same day, but they make it seem, so they'll always like make it seem, and they go, all right, first thing tomorrow morning, I want you in here. But like it's not nighttime. They're just giving you the illusion of watching a show as if it's 5 days long, but the recording day is all just one big fucking day. But the show stinks now. It's just him. And he has this one thing where he's like, he shuts the kitchen down. So this is his big thing. And every episode, he waits until it's getting busy. Things aren't going right. They can't keep up with the orders. Customers are sending shit back. He's like, there's a fucking hair in the burger. There's a hair in the burger. And then you're just waiting. No, shut it down, Gordon. And then he goes, I'm shutting it down. Fucking send them home. I'm shutting this whole thing down. I think they learned from the old episodes because he didn't do it every episode. Now it's every episode. That's his thing. There's a diner right beside me. You know Bel Air Diner? Yeah. You must have gone to Bel Air Diner. It's on it, and there's literally just the most rotten food of all time. By the way, the Bel Air Diner is just one of these staples of Astoria where they must own the land because it's never really busy. The food stinks, and they actually went on this reality TV show about how bad their restaurant is, and they're still working. Normally, that's like the kiss of death because like they never. This is the same with anyone. And then this is the difference in the show too. They obviously it's only like New York and New Jersey, so you can tell they just packed it all into like 1 week of filming. A quick couple of mil for Gordon Ramsay, and it's squeezed in. But they don't do a follow up. They just like at the end they go, the restaurant is still doing well, but it was back in the day. He used to come back 2 months later and he'd check in, and you could tell most people went back to their bad habits. All these, if you just watch the show, it's the same about every restaurant. The menu's too big, the place looks like shit, and the food tastes like shit. Every single place is like the same thing. But like what would happen is he would cut down the menu, and then he would come back 2 months later, and then just the menu's the exact same again. They go, fuck it, we didn't follow your advice. We decided to have it. I would rather die. I would rather lose my entire life savings than listen to Gordon Ramsay give me basic fucking business advice. But I don't think there's probably a more successful man in the world. Gordon Ramsay has dominated multiple industries. Dominated it. Not just casually. Like, is there someone out there? I don't know. It's not, because I do think it's more of a stretch than you could say Jamie, you gotta blow that shit out. What's the black guy? Jamie Foxx. You gotta blow that shit out. And that's one of his quotes he had from a special where at the beginning of the special, this is just me. I swear to God, I remember watching this when I was like 16, 17, just being like, black people are crazy. I watched one of his, I rented his DVD. I rented it from Extravision, which is our version of Blockbuster. I rented Jamie Foxx and I watched the special, whatever it's called. It's called like, This Time I'm Black Now, Bitch, or whatever the fucking, not all these black guys always have crazy names. Just, my dick black, but my asshole ain't, or whatever the fucking, there's always just some shit like, and name the Father, the Son, and my big black dick. Like, all right. Richard Pryor the best. Richard Pryor was just N-word something. Yeah. So God bless my N-word. God bless this N-word. But yeah, one of Jamie Foxx's fucking specials, he's just in the middle of a bit, and then he just finishes the bit, and everyone's laughing, and then he pretends to take a puff of a spliff or whatever, a joint or whatever, and he just goes, "You gotta blow that shit out," and like it doesn't really get a laugh. And then like he finishes another bit, and then he goes, "You gotta blow that shit out," and people start laughing. He does it the third time. People are howling, and then he like ends towards the end. He goes. And the whole crowd joins in at this point, and they're all like, "You gotta blow that shit out." No explanation as to why he said it. It wasn't like it was a callback. He just said it. If I remember correctly, he just said it at the end of a bit for no reason. And he did it like 4 times in the middle of the special. So Jamie,
I might need security.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, 2002.
I might need black security. I'm a black man who needs social security. I know. It's one of those titles. Whatever. Fucking thanks for ruining my... It was called something like I'm a big black man with a big black dick. But here's my theory is that Jamie Foxx, probably people argue as like the most talented guy in terms of acting, comedy, music. Yeah, but the problem is there's no like dancers. The only person who dances is like fucking Fez from the 70s show. Like it's like because he did like Dancing with the Stars or whatever they call it over here. What do you call it when those celebrities fucking do a little jig? Whatever one of those celebrity bullshit. Yeah, celebrity dance off bullshit. That's like there's no professional dancers. There's no like he's a dancer. Yeah. So you can't really give that as an industry unless he fucking was like the ballet or he did Black Swan or something. But music and acting, all that type of stuff, it's all kind of the same category. It's all the same kind of a thing. Being a fucking professional Michelin star, top of your fucking, top of your industry there, and then setting up a chain of restaurants, that's even the same thing. But then going onto TV to do it, it's different. But not just being in TV, being like one of the most successful fucking names in fucking TV. I don't think there's many people out there that are doing it better. Like even The Rock, you know, what's The Rock? He's an actor, wrestling is acting. You know, then you even got people like, you know, I just watched that David Beckham thing, which is so funny. You forget how dumb David Beckham is. David Beckham's one of the fucking dumbest people alive. And we grew up knowing that, and he just hasn't been in the limelight for a long time. So then you forget, and then it's not until he's like, like he's trying to spit out some shit. Yeah, he's an empty vessel. But again, talk about shutting everyone up in terms of fucking business moves. But is him going from football? It's like Shaq going from fucking basketball to punditry. Commentary or whatever you do analysis. It's not that huge of a jump. The jump would be going from sports to acting.
Yeah, I was gonna say Shaq as someone because his like also his investments. I guess like business wise, he's like
the stuff. The problem is with the investments too. It's like the investments are kind of like you're just a backer. You're just an invisible angel backer. It's not really.
But even the commentating, he's like that show, the NBA on TNT, is like. That's the best sports show
I just don't think it's as difficult of a jump. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong because he's coming. Because I guess it's not like Gordon Ramsay's fucking talking about basketball. That would be if Gordon Ramsay was just dominating sports. If he was just like out there on ESPN going, "Fuck it, air ball, fuck." We're still waiting for that ball to fucking land. He's just screaming at them. Yeah, I guess maybe you could argue that way, but I do think it's a lot. I just think it's harder. Name another fucking celebrity chef. There's like that has that level of accolades and TV. You know, I guess
Paula Deen before she was huge, right? Mm-hmm. Before the cancellation.
What did she get canceled for?
She had some like racist wedding.
Yeah, she had a slave team wedding. It was fine. What's wrong with that?
I didn't cancel her. It wasn't me.
So funny, this idea of like a black guy with his shirt off and like a chain around his collar, and he's there like he's ordaining it, and he's there going, "I don't know what these words say," and they're whipping him. Do 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 do, Mandingo. No, she had a plantation wedding, right? Was that her or was that someone else? Paula Deen. What?
Paula Deen used N-word, comma, wanted slaves to serve a wedding dinner.
There's nothing wrong with it.
NBC News.
A fucking gig's a gig, baby. You put money in a black actor's fucking hand, I tell you. Fucking thou who is without sin. Thou who is without sin. What's the difference between having a couple of slaves handing out hors d'oeuvres and then and Jamie Foxx playing a slave in a fucking Tarantino movie? What's the difference here, folks? What's the fucking difference? You know? Let's just say you're an Oompa Loompa, but you're black. And don't eyeball me, boy. That's all we're saying. It's not wrong with a little bit of a... What about a Holocaust-themed wedding? That wouldn't be too bad. Everyone walks around dressed in their SS uniforms, and then this like skinny little jingly jangly fucking Jews, fucking, you know, they're playing a Jew. You're playing a Jew. You're playing a Jew who hands out hors d'oeuvres to the SS.
Need like 3 of them to carry a tray.
Just less embarrassing work, dude. And there's also a funny thing about how actors are so fucking gay and delusional. Like they're really, they're like, okay, guys, it's a themed. You're not catering today, but you are catering. But it's like a themed. It's funny how much these actors and stuff get into these type of things where they like fucking. I need some character, you know. And you're a fucking slave. Give the guy the fucking salmon rolls. But he's like that guy. Okay. Walk around. Crab wonton. Crab ragoon. So, masa. Sashimi masa. You gotta ask him questions about what he's serving. Is this vegan? I do not knows what those words mean, ma'am. But they would get into it, I guess, you know. Is that why she got cancelled? Did they get rid of her off X Factor and shit like that?
Yeah, it says she had a deposition where she testified where she wished to have a wedding where people dressed as slaves and served her. She got a vision. You got to give her that.
So she didn't even do it? She just said, I have
wanted. Yeah, she had a vision. She had a dream.
I cracked open my girl one time and we were fucking playing, we were role playing. And she played the slave master's wife. So this is what we did, right? So she played the slave master's wife. Okay? And I played the boy who got his. I was an escapee slave. And I got into the house. Broke free of my chains. And then I was like, I'll be seeing you watching me in the fields. And she's like, no. She was like, no, we can't do this. And I fucked her brains out. I took what was right for my brothers, dude. Tell me that ain't good. I swear we did this. I swear. It was funnier than it was anything else. If we're getting into character. She's like, oh no, no, you're an animal. I'm gonna go, yeah, this is what you want. This is for my... I kept just going, I lack range, so I just kept going, I've been watching you in the fields.
Kept calling her Miss Dean.
Yeah, just raw dog. Yeah. She's like, my God, you're so big. She never called me the N-word, unfortunately. Couldn't get out there though, but that would have been, if I blacked up too. Honestly, if you have to ask some questions here, folks, in terms of kink shaming, if I was to black up body, whole thing, not just like, I'm not talking silly goose with the Mickey Mouse gloves and I've got the lips and I fucking stand on a rake and I drop my watermelon. It's like, I mean, I genuinely look like a black guy and I'm wearing like some sort of toga or whatever they wore in the fields. I'm not quite sure. I believe it was just ripped denim jeans.
FUBU tracksuit.
Whatever they had, yes. I had my backward slave hat. Somehow they gave me a slave uniform and you make it look cool as shit, dude. You know they look good as shit in those slave uniforms. They had baggy. They were like, what do you guys do?
They were sagging their linen pants.
Yeah, you know they were looking good as fuck in those slave uniforms, bro. they were
Taking the chains,
They were
putting it
roasting
around
someone else. They were roasting someone else. They call it like some guy who got whipped. They kept roasting him. You got slave back, yo. You got whipped back, yo. You're back whippy as fuck, bro. They were just roasted the fucking. Yeah, imagine like one of the slave masters fell off his horse in front of all the slaves one day. You know he got fucking roasted, bro. You got a couple of those teenage blacks. These teenage black guys, they fucking roasted the shit out of me. Goddamn fucking goddamn animal.
David Lucas is there.
These yo
Calling him gay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sheet Underwear, as you know, is a sponsor of this podcast. They were created by U.S. Army Sergeant Robert Patton during a 2008 sandstorm in Iraq, which is, you think he would have been focusing on living. But he's like, no, my nuts must not touch my penis. And he created a new type of underwear. By the way, talk about shout out to the troops, but he texted me, Robert Patton texted me after my stand-up comedy special and said, I see you are wearing Sheet during your special. Great stuff. I was like, oh my God, what a psychopath. And now I'm like, at what point did I must have lifted up my arm at one point and then just a little peek of the thing. And he just goes, recognize those undies anyway. So this he also was upset that I didn't wear Matt and Shane's podcast. I wasn't wearing Sheet. I was wearing just literally a non-brand. But I only wear Sheet. It was a laundry day. And then he was like, must send you more Sheet if you're not going to be wearing Sheet. And like he had a meltdown. He had like PTSD. He was in the sandstorm again. He was like, I can't believe this was such an opportunity to advertise Sheet. And he went with a non-brand. Like it wasn't even a brand. It's not like I said, no, I'm wearing something else. It was literally like, this is just, they're not even real underwear. They were like a joke underwear. Anyway, wear Sheet. That's all we wear. All your favorite comedians all wear Sheet underwear. And these are the facts. Go to sheetunderwear.com. Use code Collie, COLLIE, and get 20% off your first order. Plus, Sheet Underwear's 100% money back guarantee. That's sheetunderwear.com, promo code Collie. Get Sheet Underwear. Support the show. Support your balls. Shout out Tony Hinchcliffe. Shout out David Lucas. I don't even know David at all, actually. But you know what? We know each other. We can tell. When I see him at clubs and we just ignore each other, I can tell. That's mutual respect right there. That's why I talk about every comedian ever. You know, like I don't know Nate Bargatze either. I'm just like, yeah, that's like a mutual respect right there. We just got a mutual thing, right, dude? By the way, Cincinnati, go bananas! I'll be there in April or March or something. Big milestone for me. Nate Bargatze recorded his first album. I believe it was called Raised by a Clown or some shit like that, or Debt by a Clown, or Magician. My dad was a magician or something. Full Time Magic maybe was actually, that's one of the names of his, I don't know. His first album was recorded at Go Bananas, Cincinnati. And I remember always going, I'd love to headline there. And I'm headlining a weekend. And so I guess in a weird way, I've made it. I've officially made it. This is as high as it gets. Now, if I went back in time to 2016 when I set this goal and I told myself that I wouldn't achieve it for 9 years or something, I'd be embarrassed. But, you know, here we are. So those tickets aren't on sale. But if you're in Cincinnati, keep an eye out because Collie's coming all over the world. I'm going to Key West. I'm going to go to Tampa. I'm going to go to Tampa again. I'm heading back this weekend, San Francisco. And then I'll be back somewhere else up there, North California again. But yeah, I'm just saying, if someone was to find out that you did weird shit, are you allowed to be? You're allowed to be misogynistic in the bedroom, right? You're allowed to say you're a dirty slut, you're a fucking slut machine, you're just a piece of meat, you are my little fuck toy. Like, she's allowed to say that to me, right? And it's not like I'm not gay. I'm not gay. You're allowed to get fucked in the ass by a guy in the bedroom without being gay, right, folks? But I'm just saying, if someone was to walk in, imagine like something happened where someone walked in and you're head to toe blackface, little slave outfit. You're just wearing these little jorts or whatever they wore. I don't know what they wore. I don't even know if they had clothes. What did slaves wear? Because you guys didn't learn about this in high school, did you? They never brought up slave clothing. Because in my mind, it's always like togas. They're just wrapped in a bed sheet. What did they wear? Did they give them clothes?
Shirts for men were generally made of Onseberg, unbleached coarse linen, while they wore stockings and plaid hose that were woolen, loose fitting, no patterns for pants.
Loose as hell, yeah. Loose. I'm telling you, they like the baggy clothes. They've always liked baggy clothes. They like
plain, sturdy leather shoes without buckles.
Okay, and then so that's me. I'm dressed up as that,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like fucking, I've been out in the sun all day. I've got a good color on me. I fucking been lifting
Mandingo.
Just somehow carrying huge bags of cotton. I guess so heavy that I've got biceps for some reason. I don't know how.
Yeah, how strong could they have gotten? It was cotton.
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't ever think
how
about
did
that?
they? It's just natural. It's just DNA, I guess. Well, what are the escapees? That's how they build up their muscles trying to escape. So they run, and they just have the fucking. I don't know. Is there an explanation as to why they're so dominated in sport? Like, because when we were growing up in Ireland, the rumor was that in Africa, it's higher altitude. So therefore, their lung capacity is bigger. So that's why all the Kenyans and shit win marathons.
Yeah, they're at.
They all weigh 42 pounds. And they can run and run and run and run. Most of it's just air. It's like if the wind is with them, they just like take with it. But that was the theory, was that they have better lung capacity because they're in a high altitude in Africa. I have no idea if that's true.
It is, yeah.
Is it genuinely true? I probably just told you that.
Kenya and Ethiopia they're at altitude, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the way people used to do that in MMA. They used to train up in Colorado because they had this idea that the oxygen would make your lungs better. So then when you went to fight on ground level.
Yeah.
Tony Woods told me that story too. I don't know if I just talked about the reason why Denver. Tony Woods is like the legend of a comedian. Check him out. He's like Dave Chappelle's mentor. He's been around for years. He's just a wacky dude. He's like old now. He's always wearing a bucket hat. Just great comic and bit of a like almost like a traveling nomad, weird mystique thing. And I've met him 100 times. And every time I meet him, I have to introduce myself, which is fine. But I met him one time. We were talking. And he's just like, "You English?" Like every time I meet him, he's always, and he brings up the same comics, but he turns around to me the other day. I've met him again, whatever. He's like, we aren't even talking. He just goes, "You ever play in Denver?" I was like, "No, I didn't." And he's like, "Best city in the world. Comedy works. Denver's best club." He goes, "You know why?" I was like, "Why?" He's like, "High altitude. So everyone's a little dizzy. It's like laughing gas. You say Hamilton, those people are laughing and howling." And I was like, that's just some random black math right there. But like there's no way they're just like, no one's getting any work done all day. They're like in an office just giggling at shit like because they're high. There's no way that's what's happening. You go to a high altitude, everyone's head's all full and red.
They're also they adapted to it, so it's like
of course. But it's just such a fun. He says this, hits me with that, turns around, scurries off into the shadows. Just Tony Woods. Legend. He's just all time. He just always has some shit like that to say, and then you'll never remember me again. All right, listen, 100 episodes, folks. We're only just getting going. Things have only just started. Make sure you support the Patreon, folks. You get an extra episode every week. Doing that, and then also we're gonna figure out something. We got to figure out something with the fucking pod. I'm on the road a lot now, so I'm gonna try. One thing I'm gonna try do first of all is, which is a pain in the ass, but I'm gonna try just leave the episodes unmonetized on YouTube. It's someone else posted something about YouTube like censoring you, and I was like, you know what? It is fucking pussy shit to be like, I'm gonna not say the poo-poo words and all this type of shit. So that's one thing I'm gonna do, so that the episodes are better and I have a little bit of artistic integrity. If I want to make rape jokes up top of a show, I'm making my rape jokes. You cannot censor my art. But the thing is that money is crucial to me. So you got to sacrifice something. But hopefully next year, like I said, go bananas, Cincinnati. That money will be able to subsidize the stuff. And then the Patreon, I'm going to figure out something there too. Because everywhere I turn, I'm getting fucking ass fucked. Every fucking subscription is going up. Everything I pay for is going up. And I don't feel like being a part of that problem. You know what I mean? So I'm going to figure out something to try and help you losers out, because it's also like, I know I talked about this on the Patreon, but it is like the people that support this podcast, more often than not, they're fucking the dregs of society, and they don't really have money. They don't have money to fucking for toothpaste, let alone Patreon. So I'm gonna figure out something. I don't know what exactly, how or what to do, but we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna be in this together, folks. We're gonna fight this inflation. We're gonna fight Joe Biden. You know, red wave coming back. Trump's gonna be back in there. Trump's gonna just fucking wipe out Hamas. Do the right thing. Do the right thing and put all these kids out of their misery. These Palestinian kids don't even know what they're missing. So just kill them all and just allow the Gaza Strip to be waterfront property for all the Brooklyn landlords to retire in. That's just the inevitable facts. And sorry, muzzies. Sorry. Just not my war, but maybe you shouldn't have been, you know, not Jewish. You should have been Jewish if you wanted to win. Sometimes that happens. The Jews have lost a lot, apparently. They'll never stop bringing it up, but the fucking Jews have had a big boohoo history bullshit, you know? Some of the stuff the Jews bring up, though, is like, come on. How many years ago was that? Like, what am I supposed to cry about the fucking the Vikings now? The Celts? Am I not supposed to talk like, am I like, how long can you go back? I'll give you the Holocaust, man. Before that, you can fuck off. Like, I don't even bring up the English as like a fucking serious topic. 800 fucking years on the land. You've had the new land. You shared it for 4.5 weeks. Fuck off. Fuck off. Cry babies. Tell you one thing about the Jews. Cry babies. I'm not even saying what happened to them is good or anything like that, but I'm just saying whingers. Fucking whinging. Cry babies. They don't come across as tough people. They come across as crybabies. That's all I'm trying to say is like fucking toughen up and fucking go kick some fucking elderly woman out of her apartment for not fucking, because you upped the rent $5,000. All right, folks, that's it. Love you.